race war. Whose team are you on? Black people or white people?
Is there a race war? Did I miss it?
Now, these individuals are still at large.
The mayor of New York is such a buffoon. To have it come from him makes so much sense because he's such a dullard. And when he proclaims this, that we're going to do this, you know, after he's like told people they can get free cheeseburgers, like you see.
They are out there on these platforms at this hour of this day, literally depriving people of their lives by lying to them.
And they just like, don't say anything about it. Don't tell nobody. I'm like, bro, what? I mean, I was supposed to be taking blood thinners. Because I had blood clots. I had 2 blood clots. I was supposed to be taking something called blood thinners. And while you take blood thinners, you can't play.
It is unacceptable, and we have to stop it.
Tip at tips.fbi.gov. Protecting our communities together. Report hate crimes.
Speaking of statues, an infamous bronze statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee that was recently removed from a park in Charlottesville, Virginia, could get melted down.
We just heard that YouTube is banning all misinformation videos, and I really want to thank them for that.
The white people. The white people.
In closing, as the white population has remained flat.
The white people. The white people. The white people. The white people.
It's always a tricky business dealing with projections and saying what the population will look like in the future. But if our current trajectory holds, then yes, we will see a Hispanic plurality here in New York City sometime in the future.
Now, you guys are a typical boy band because everybody's from a different country here, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to play a fun game of trying to see how well you know each other, okay? So who do you think takes the longest time to get ready?
Men
but
as women.
Sabdiel is getting into that, so it's like
turning the society's men
also,
into
you guys
women.
are always... It's because we like, I don't know, we just like to dress like crazy.
The white people. The white people. The white people.
Like, why you don't love us? That's the question we want to ask police. Why you don't love us?
The white people. The white people. The white people. The white people.
Then stabbed the girl once in the chest before running away with a group of people.
Pretty much ends the violence at that moment. But look at just how disgusting this is to watch. The looting has got...
Shows a man walking up 3rd Avenue, suddenly shoving a 92-year-old woman. She loses her balance, falling to the ground, hitting her head on a fire hydrant.
Stormy Saturday night, everyone, with some parts of the city under thunderstorm watches. Take a look at the World Trade Center there in Lower Manhattan.
He was charged weeks later with filing a false report after investigators found he staged the attack in order to promote his career.
I'm a scientist, and I'm confused.
And Kathy, will mandates be expanded to police in New York City?
Jose Mayor Bill de Blasio says that he is weighing all options at this point.
Make a different decision when it becomes very, very practical. So now someone is literally looking at the possibility they won't have a paycheck for a prolonged period of time. They may even lose their job ultimately. A lot of people are going to look at that and say, hold up, okay.
The Fraternal Order of Police urge officers to ignore that mandate, warning the mayor.
I guarantee you at least half the department staying home come Saturday morning.
Extremely dangerous to just start censoring people because for many reasons, but one of the big ones is that you deny the value of discourse.
You know, I said, and it's probably get me in trouble, but I said to some of my colleagues recently, so I know that it's an issue, but it seems like every single day on television I'm talking about race, and it's because of the news cycle, it's in the news, but sometimes I get so tired of talking about it, I want to just go, this is over, can we move on?
Deny the value of debate.
On Friday, Mayor Lori Lightfoot filed a complaint against a police union for engaging in, supporting, and encouraging a work stoppage or strike.
When you have people that are saying things that are wrong or that you disagree with, the greatest power is someone to come along who is more intellectual, more articulate, more convincing, that has an argument that's grounded in facts.
We just heard that YouTube is banning all vaccine misinformation videos, and I really want to thank them for that.
Was stabbed in the stomach and face.
About the fact that the subways over years and years and years have gotten safer.
Investigating this as a homicide. No other details have been released at this time. Live in Cypress Hill.
Stop the spread of the lies.
Another person was found dead in Lower Manhattan, just steps from NYPD headquarters.
That's what precision policing is all about. Go ahead. Can you hear me, Noel?
Also learning more about this 16-year-old shot to death on the Lower East Side, the latest victim in an epidemic of gun violence involving New York City teenagers.
Can you hear me, Noel?
I guess we're just a little, I'm sorry, I heard you. I'm just a little confused by your answer. So your point is because the subways are safer now than they were in the early 1990s when people put their wallets in their front pocket instead of their back pocket, that we should accept the doubling in murders year over year?
No, of course not. Nolan, obviously not.
They pushed a 54-year-old woman onto subway tracks yesterday. It happened at the 174th Street station just before 8 in the morning.
Earlier this week, a 14-year-old was grazed in the head by a bullet while boarding a bus in Harlem.
On the Lower East Side, police are investigating the deadly stabbing of a food delivery worker.
It's just like Assemblyman Dick Gottfried said. We all understand the liberties and freedoms of this country.
My freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
He was pronounced dead at the hospital. We're told the suspect took off with the victim's bicycle.
As of last week, at least 19 victims under the age of 18 had been shot and killed this year, up from 7 in 2020 during that same time span.
It has to end. You have no right to put people's lives in danger.
On Thursday, Scott was arrested and charged for allegedly punching a nurse in the face while being treated at a Manhattan hospital.
Releasing new crime numbers showing a decrease in murders and shooting incidents. When the numbers from September of this year are compared to last September, murders decreased by 22%.
The city has went down.
Police say that after the cop was assaulted, he was taken to the hospital for facial bruising. The attackers fled the scene.
If you look at the efforts made,
The delivery worker was stabbed in the stomach and face while the suspect tried to steal his bicycle.
We value life, and if someone is standing in the way of human life, if someone is causing people to die, it has to be stopped.
Investigators say Wu confessed to the shooting last week in Bensonhurst. Investigators also believe the victim, 24-year-old Jamie Liang, was in a new relationship with Wu's ex-girlfriend.
Crime is at an all-time high.
Over the last 7 years,
Against 4 people trying to steal his wallet in Queens.
and you look at the subways now compared to what they were like not that long ago.
Shoved another woman into a moving subway train in Times Square.
A Brooklyn teenager is spending her 17th birthday undergoing physical rehabilitation after being shot in the head earlier this month.
Compared to what they were like not that long ago in this city.
New at 5, police just released photos.
They are much safer, much safer.
Police say the attacker, wearing bright yellow pants, walked up without saying a word and pushed the victim toward the tracks. She was able to regain her balance, but the attacker allegedly pushed her again, causing her to fall. Good Samaritans helped her up.
Again.
Police say the suspect was spotted at a bodega after the attack.
I can tell you about 6 years where we had steady decrease in crime, where the city got safer and safer.
As the 51-year-old victim was stabbed in the stomach, stabbed in the stomach and the face while the suspect tried to steal his bicycle.
In fact, we literally had a point not long ago where there was one index crime per million subway riders per day. And there's no question we're going to come back strong in 2021. But
New video this morning shows a suspect wanted in an attack on an MTA bus driver in Brooklyn. Police say the man spit on the driver as he was getting off the bus on Clarkson Avenue in Brownsville yesterday morning.
According to the NYPD, the number of shooting victims under 18 doubled this year compared to the same time period in 2019.
And in terms of gun violence in the city, what do you hope changes?
I hope that, it's a little more controlled.
And she says, oh, my dog won't come to you. Well, what she didn't know is I carry dog treats.
Why is that funny?
Because I've been burning the park for 35 years, dealing with this for 35 years. So I pull out the dog treats. I didn't even get to toss them. I never got that far, because as soon as she saw the dog treats come out, she spiraled.
This year's grim tally includes children as young as 10 years old.
So why should people feel confident getting on the subways, and what are you doing to make them safe with kids about to return to middle school?
Releasing new crime numbers showing a decrease in murders and shooting incidents. When the numbers from September of this year are compared to last September, murders decreased by 22%. Shooting incidents also down by 9.3%. There were almost 400 gun arrests last month, bringing the total number to more than 3,400 for the year.
Assaults and robberies were also flat or up, considering subway ridership has plunged by 70+%.
We begin with the 16-year-old, one of at least 4 teenage victims of gun violence in the city this week alone.
Shot in the head. Releasing new crime numbers showing a decrease in murders and shooting incidents.
Point blank daytime shooting is one of the latest incidents of gun violence in the city.
16-year-old is dead and a 24-year-old now fighting for his life after a shooting on the Lower East Side.
He died at the hospital, and police are still looking for that gunman.
When the numbers from September of this year are compared to last September, murders decreased by 22%.
23 shootings in the city. By mid-July of last year, there were 667 shootings.
He was going to change his life around. He just came home from doing 8 months. And I said, I'll be there Tuesday to get you.
Isaiah's older brother says this all happened when a group of Isaiah and his friends were shooting a music video. Sources say Isaiah was affiliated with a gang and had been arrested before. Oliver Levine Sr. gets emotional thinking about his son Isaiah. Police say the 16-year-old was fatally shot in the face Friday night at the intersection of Delancey and Suffolk Streets. He was brought to Bellevue Hospital where he was pronounced dead.
He asked me, Dad, could I come live with you? I said yes.
Police are investigating after a man believed to be a delivery worker was fatally stabbed in Chinatown early this morning.
Shooting incidents also down by 9.3%.
The NYPD says the 51-year-old victim was stabbed in the stomach and the face while the suspect tried to steal his bicycle. Police say a Grubhub delivery bag was tied to the victim's bike.
There were almost 400 gun arrests last month, bringing the total number to more than 3,400 for the year.
That is more than triple the number for the same period both in 2019 and last year. This year's grim tally includes children as young as 10 years old.
We're freezing the video here just before shots hit 21-year-old Periel Simeon.
One criminal justice expert interviewed for this report says that the pandemic is to blame.
On a playground, the search now for the gunman who escaped on a city bike.
A confrontation inside a Manhattan Apple store after a customer refused to wear a mask. It happened Friday in the meatpacking district. The customer was asked to wear a mask but refused. He can be seen here attacking a security guard. He then left the store but later came back, allegedly striking a female employee before stabbing the guard in the stomach and arm and slashing him on the head.
The starvation death of a 7-year-old boy in Newburgh. The Orange County DA says Peter Kouakis weighed just 37 pounds when he died in February. His main caregiver, Felicia Bravo, is facing murder charges, accused of leaving him locked in a room without food back in January.
To a New Jersey nurse who died after she was knocked to the ground in Times Square by a mugger. Police say 26-year-old Jermaine Foster plowed into her outside a Times Square pizzeria on Friday after stealing another woman's cell phone. In a CBS 2 exclusive, his stepfather says Foster suffers from mental illness and needs help.
Is that what it is?
I'm sure he's off his medication.
And maybe he needs some reparations too.
Pushing somebody or anything, that means he's off his medication.
Sources tell us Foster was also involved in a groping incident last month, after which he was released on his own recognizance.
There were 4 other victims that were injured.
Police did return gunfire and did strike the gunman, and he was taken to a local hospital where he is undergoing some surgery right now. Those 4 other men who were also hit by gunfire. Police say there was a shooting here at this exact corner about a month ago, but police are saying that the 2 incidents, as of right now, are not connected. For now, that's latest from here in Manhattan. Alyssa Policelli will send it back to you.
Alyssa, thank you. Jury deliberations continue today in R. Kelly's sex trafficking trial in Brooklyn on Friday.
Look, there's no question, if you look at the efforts made over the last 7 years, and you look at the subways now compared to what they were like not that long ago in this city, they are much, much safer. We have work to do always.
New at 5, police just released photos of the woman who they say shoved another woman into a moving subway train in Times Square. Luckily for police, as you can see, she wasn't wearing a mask, so it's a pretty good look at her face. That victim did not fall onto the track. She went into a train, but she is going to be okay. Investigators are calling this an unprovoked attack.
That's what precision policing is all about. Go ahead. Can you hear me, Noel?
I guess I'm just a little, I'm sorry, I heard you. I'm just a little confused by your answer. So your point is because the subways are safer now than they were in the early 1990s when people put their wallets in their front pocket instead of their back pocket, that we should accept the doubling in murders year over year?
No, of course not. Nolan, obviously not.
They pushed a 54-year-old woman onto subway tracks yesterday. It happened at the 174th Street station just before 8 in the morning. Police say the attacker, wearing bright yellow pants, walked up without saying a word and pushed the victim toward the tracks. She was able to regain her balance, but the attacker allegedly pushed her again, causing her to fall. Good Samaritans helped her up, and she was not seriously hurt. Police say the suspect was spotted at a bodega after the attack.
Again, I can tell you about 6 years where we had steady decrease in crime, where the city got safer and safer. In fact, we literally had a point not long ago where there was one index crime per million subway riders per day. And there's no question we're going to come back strong in 2021. But
new video this morning shows a suspect wanted in an attack on an MTA bus driver in Brooklyn. Police say the man spit on the driver as he was getting off the bus on Clarkson Avenue in Brownsville yesterday morning. The 57-year-old driver followed him off. Then they got into a verbal dispute, and the suspect allegedly hit the driver in the head with a piece of wood he picked up off the ground. The driver lost consciousness and was taken to Kings County Hospital, where he is listed in stable condition. The suspect ran off.
5:05 right now happening today, opening.
But we've got to be clear about the fact that the subways over years and years and years have gotten safer. They are a place that people can depend on. As more and more people come back, I'm very, very confident that our subways are going to work for everyone in every sense, including safety.